what have the Jays done all season long? And you've seen it, Kev, as a fan of the AL East. They get murdered or lose a heartbreaking game and come back and punch you in the face. They're not. It's what like the old Jays team used to fold, and that's what I used to hate about them. These guys are different. They're like guys you go to war with. It's like, man, you're my buddy. Like, let's go. Like, their clubhouse dynamic, I've never seen a Blue Jay team where everyone gets along.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Apparently, he's a pretty darn good defensive coordinator. The 49ers are decimated by injury. This guy's doing it again. Wade Phillips, Norv Turner, all these guys, there's a lot of great coordinators out there. I'm not so sure Mike McDaniel isn't a real good coordinator, a run game coordinator, a quarterback coach with the 49ers during some Super Bowl years. Maybe he's just not built to be a head coach.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I think a divorce is coming. I don't think LeBron finishes the year with the LA Lakers. And the trump card he tried to play has backfired on him big time. And I'm here for all the smoke. I got my marshmallows. I got my skewers. I got the fireplace. I'm going to sit back, kicking my feet, and watch the LA dysfunction play out in real time.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Governor calls you out in the football state. You're out.
And it was so funny, too, because after he fired Kelly on Sunday, right, Woodward released a statement that said that, you know, in effect, that he was still in charge of the athletic department. Well, you didn't check with the governor because apparently he had other plans for the athletic department, and you're not in them.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day here on the grid on a marvelous Monday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next about 3.5 hours. We'll take you to the end of the Monday Night Football game. We do have Monday Night Football. It is a football game, and we got two of the more historic NFL franchises playing tonight. But after that, it pretty much falls off the wall as far as records and playoff implications and all that other stuff. But plenty of storylines anyway. Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. We got NBA, we got NHL, some college basketball as well. So we'll be here hopefully making a couple of shekels before everything is said and done, as we always like to say. First up, though, game time with my partner in crime, Mr. Gabe Morency. What's betting you off tonight, Gabe?
Well, I'm just hoping that we actually get a legitimate, entertaining product this evening, something that for whatever reason we don't in prime time, right? Sunday afternoon has delivered some pretty entertaining football games, but for whatever reason, primetime games have been terrible, and players like to complain about playing on Thursday nights, and it's a short week, and they can't do it, and all that other type of stuff, but it doesn't seem to matter whether it's a Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. Primetime games have been pretty bad and boring in the National Football League. Fortunately, last night, the Grey Cup was on at the same time, so I could actually watch an entertaining product, hoping for the best tonight between two train wreck football teams.
Yep. Opening pickoff, as we like to do. Always throwing a lot of bets on a Monday night, so I'll start, Gabe. I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys. Geno Smith, it's kind of a pro-Dallas and anti-Las Vegas bet, or anti-Geno Smith bet, really. Geno in prime time over the years, 4-14 straight up, 3-13 as an underdog. How bad is that? That is the worst record out of 172 quarterbacks since 2003. I don't mind betting against trends every once in a while, but I'm not betting against that one. And Dallas is going to be inspired after what happened last week. So give me Dallas. I don't like laying the hook. If you could buy it down to 3, I would do that. But I think actually Dallas rolls. So give me the Cowboys laying to 3.5.
It's always dangerous trusting the Dallas Cowboys, but this is a good spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Some teams are good against bad teams. Some bad teams are good against good teams. Sometimes, other times teams just dominate in certain roles. And this is a good role for the Dallas Cowboys to be in tonight. Dak Prescott, 12-1 straight up in his last 13 primetime games when he is the favorite. Street, that's the key. When he is the favorite, including 6-0 on the road, if you want to dig deeper as far as like beating bad teams, Dak Prescott 34-12-1 against the spread when he's favored by 3 or more points against a sub-500 football team. Dak Prescott is feasted on bad football teams, and the Las Vegas Raiders are a bad football team. I have the Cowboys like money line parlays. I've got them in teasers, but I did buy the half point. It's minus 120 only, so I thought, hey, not a bad price. So I got the Cowboys minus 3 points, minus 120.
Yeah, that's not bad. If you get it down to minus 120, that it really is worth, even though you think Dallas is going to win by a lot, getting it down to that 3 is worth it. So I like those plays, Gabe. I got to go with the over in the game, over 50.5. It might be down to 49.5 in some circles. Little surprising, little drop on that because we got two of the worst defenses in the NFL. Dallas rushing defense, which I'll get to here in a second with another play, 4th worst in the NFL. So the Raiders should have success with Genti. Dallas is going to play inspired. The Raider defense is awful. Not sure how this is not going to get to 50-plus points unless you have just an awful game out of Geno. But I'll take my chances at home. That doesn't happen. So give me over 50.5 Dallas and Las Vegas.
You know what? I'm not going to play the under, but I am going to tease this game to the under. I'm more of an over better, and I know that the Dallas Cowboy defense on paper, statistically, they haven't been good. They've given up the 4th most rush yards. They do give up 29 points a game, but it's a little bit deceptive. They're actually better than the numbers indicate. They've got Quinnen Williams now. Now they got Malik Hooker back. They've got they're a lot deeper now on defense than they have been at any time in the season right now. They're also as healthy as they've been at any time in the season right now. And quite frankly, guys, so we could talk about the Raiders, the Cowboys giving up 29 points a game. Can the Raiders do anything with it? The Raiders score 15 points a game, guys. Literally 15 points a game. Hard to believe in today's modern National Football League, but they do. So can they take advantage of it? I'm going to tease the game to the under. So I get the Cowboys at plus 3.5, and I get under 55.5.
All right. If I think there's going to be some points, and I do, then with Dallas, you got to go with the passing game, right? They can't run a lick. So give me over 256.5 yards passing Dak Prescott. He's had 250 yards or more in 6 of the Dallas Cowboy 9 games. Raiders defense probably a little better anyway statistically than what Dallas is offering up statistically. But 256 again for a team that they really can't run their way out of a paper bag. Give me Prescott to have a decent sized game today. 257 is not that much to ask for.
I think Dak should have success today as well, and I'll give a Dak prop and a bonus picks here, but I'm going to go with our boy Jake Ferguson, who's just the most consistent player on the Dallas Cowboys. He's gone over 36.5 in 6 of their 9 football games. The Denver Broncos just sort of eliminated him for whatever reason, and, there was the first game, but the dude's money, and he's Dak's favorite target. So we're going over 36.5 with Jake Ferguson. And what's crazy, too, the Raiders get lit up by tight ends. They've given up, and the Raiders played 9 games. 7 of the 9 games that they played, the opposing tight end has had 30 or 7 or more yards. Look for Ferguson to get into the 50s tonight. We're going over 36.5. Jake Ferguson, receiving yards.
Okay, not bad. Let's go by last one. Ashton Genti, all those things I mentioned about the Cowboy defense. 4th worst rushing defense, 3rd worst passing defense. So you can pick your poison, and I just assume with those awful Geno numbers said, you know what, I think they're going to want to run the ball and keep the ball away from Dallas a little bit. It's only 67.5 yards. We're still waiting for that monster breakout game. Maybe it comes tonight. Give me Genti, Gabe, over 67.5 yards rushing.
I like Genti tonight as well, but the opening number was 61.5. And that's more appropriate than what it's been bet up to right now. And he just hasn't done it, right? I mean, and no fault of his own, but he's done this. He's gone over this number twice this year. And he got, I should say once, now it's 67.5. He got to 67 against the Colts. He got to 75 against the Titans. His last game, 60, 42, 21, 75. Oh, excuse me. He did have 138 in one game, too, so 3 times. Their offensive line is terrible. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage all the time. But I do think Genti scores a touchdown tonight, guys. So, and I don't hate the play, Scott. At 67.5, it kind of scared me off. But I'm going with a high number here. They're trying to scare us off the long field goal tonight. I knew it would be long, and I'm not even surprised at the number, but 54.5 is the long field goal number tonight.
Ooh,
It's in Las Vegas. It's indoors. The Raiders try a lot of long kicks. Now, Carlson is kind of shaky, but then you've got Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys. It's 54.5 for a reason. Like, you know, we're going to see a 59-yarder or something like that tonight. 58-yarder, 59-yarder, 57-yarder. I do believe that there will be a couple of long field goal attempts. Like, I think we might hit a couple of them tonight over 54.5. So I'm going over 54.5. And my bonus Dak pick is Scott's going to go with the yards, and I can live with that. But I think Dak throws over 2 touchdowns or more tonight. Over 1.5 touchdown passes for Dak Prescott. The Cowboys going to take advantage of a very porous Raiders secondary tonight.
I'll give you 3 quickies here that we always do. Correct score. Dallas wins 27-21. I always take the favorite to win. 100-1 tonight only. Both teams to get 2 touchdowns running and passing. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. That pays 27-1 game. And then give me over 28.5 yards receiving Tyler Lockett. This almost made the opening pick-up. He's played 1 game, and he's had 5 receptions with 6 targets for 44 yards. You know, he's got the connection with Geno. I think that's a halfway decent number for Lockett to get to 29 tonight. You got some quickies for us?
I do like Lockett. We jumped in on him last game saying that, you know what, he's got the familiarity. Yep. Let's go with a final score. Dallas Cowboys win 28-14, 350-1.
I like that. Nice. All right, we are set. In-game live continues here on the Grid.
Asking the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Waiting for the opening kick here in just a minute or two. Literally Dallas and the Las Vegas Raiders. Not the Vegas Raiders like the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know what goes into whether it be in Las Vegas versus just Vegas, but we got the little Monday Night Football. Our poly market play of the day, our market push here on Monday Night Football, they're offering up Dallas at 65 cents. Not exactly sure how that equates to Dallas laying 3.5, but 65 cents on the Dallas. It sounds like it's pretty similar, but for those markets that don't have legalized gambling, we have this prediction market, as we'd like to call it. 65 cents on the Dallas Cowboys tonight, which kind of, I think correlates with 3.5 pretty evenly.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's funny because Dallas Cowboys aren't a very good team, right? But people have so little respect.
They're a public team.
Yeah, they have so little respect for the Las Vegas Raiders that everybody trading, betting, whatever you want to call it, nobody really wants a piece of the Raiders in this game tonight. You brought up Marshawn Leland, so they're playing for the first time. They had an emotional piece on him before kickoff tonight. Primetime games, the Raiders are going to be fired up. It's one of these throw the records out. Players want to play type of deal, but let's be real. I mean, these are two underachieving football teams who, incidentally, for the most part, have the same record against the spread, right? The Vegas are 3-5-1, depending on a push. I've seen others saying that they're 4-5. The Dallas Cowboys are 4-5, but the Raiders have only won 2 football games this year. The Pete Carroll experiment really hasn't worked very much. The Raiders just, to be honest, Scott, they're like a lot of NFL teams. Like we talking about the Cleveland Browns. You can blame Shedeur. People can take pot shots at Shedeur Sanders and stuff, but the Cleveland Browns drafted 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks, Scott, with 4 of their first 5 picks. Think about that.
Who does
they
that?
took 2 quarterbacks that aren't going to play. Nobody in their right mind thinks Dylan Gabriel is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Nobody thought, Shedeur Sanders. I don't think Shedeur's as bad as the situation he was put in. But it is what it is, right? And, the Raiders, same thing. The Raiders should be rebuilding, Scott. The Raiders shouldn't have signed Geno Smith, right? They're just a poorly constructed football team that doesn't accept tanking, yet they're still not good. Some teams don't tank. Like the Vancouver Canucks, people get, the Canuck fan gets upset because they make the playoffs and get bounced type of thing. But the owner really likes making the playoffs. To him, it's no, I want to make the playoffs and all the time. He sees it as glass half full all the time. But sometimes you got to admit you're not good, Scott, and rebuild. And the Raiders just don't seem to get that.
Yeah. Well, they tried with Aiden O'Connell, I guess you could say that. But, obviously that didn't work out. So, yeah, maybe
that was by default, though. He wasn't a top-tier draft pick or anything like that.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
They wanted Jarrett Stidham to be the quarterback, right? Josh McDaniel was all high on Jarrett Stidham. So, maybe with Tom Brady in place now, Brady has been successful in what he's done, Scott, but, Brady told him don't sign Sam Darnold, but, I think they'd still be bad if they had Sam Darnold right now, but I'm not so sure just because Tom Brady's a minority owner that, suddenly they're going to turn things around. And it's weird, too, because Davis is a pretty good owner in the sense that he stays out of the way. He's very not involved, with the team. He stays out of the way. He gives the football people the power. He's very unlike his father. The dude's busy hanging around with 25-year-old girls in casinos and stuff. Like Davis is Mr. Vegas, Scott. People see him at Fat Burger at 2 a.m, crushing a burger and stuff. He's playing slots with people. You know what I'm saying? He is a man of the people. And the Raiders are they do a lot of it's funny. The Raiders are the greenest stadium. The Raiders are have the most sort of women and minority. They're very, very proactive. And you think of the big bad Raiders, they kind of do everything really well. They make money, Scott. They have this stadium. You know what I'm saying? But they do everything except win. They have a dedicated hardcore fan base. They have it all, but they just don't win. A lot like the Dallas Cowboys.
And they're in a monster division, right? I mean,
they're just stuck. Yeah, they're just stuck in this.
Which is more reason for them, Gabe, to just you got to hit a home run. You're down 4 runs. You got to hit the home run. Bases loaded single is not going to get the job done for the Raiders. You got to
admit. You look at the standings. Yeah, you look at the stand. You look at your division, and you go, listen, Mahomes. We're not better than Mahomes, and we're not going to be better than Mahomes. Right? We're not. We don't have Justin Herbert, so we better get a Justin Herbert. We better get a quarterback. And Denver's good. Like you said, they're so far behind everybody in their division. What are you even trying to compete for? I'd be in full tank mode. I'd trade Max. I would have traded Max Crosby. I would have traded everybody on the team. Stockpile draft picks. At least the Jets stockpile draft picks, but they'll screw up the picks, Scott. But at least they, you know what I mean? At least they admitted we're terrible. Let's get rid of everybody. Yeah. The only thing is, you just did this a couple of years ago. You got rid of all these young guys, but you know what I'm saying. But the Raiders don't do it. They will get a high pick this year by force because they are that bad.
And I equate, Tom, someone brought this up on a podcast, and it makes sense.
They got to stop, though, on the first drive, just for the record. They got to stop. So Cowboys got the ball first, and they punt.
I equate Tom Brady being with the Raiders like I equate Arch Manning having, his uncle be Peyton Manning and have the greatest quarterback camp in the history of quarterback camps. It does, if you don't have the talent, it doesn't matter who your uncle is and what quarterback camps there are. Like, people were laughing, like, doesn't he go to the quarterback camp of his uncle? So, I mean, Tom Brady can be there, but that doesn't mean Tom Brady's playing. He can have his say on things, but it doesn't mean that all of a sudden the Raiders are going to be great when it comes to
the thing is, how much does Tom Brady doesn't watch college football.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much college football is Tom
for the
Brady?
NFL, his broadcast. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and that's
right.
Exactly. So he's got to prepare for his broadcast that, he clearly doesn't prepare that much for, as we know. So, so he's sort of, and on the weekend, he's there with the crew, the game, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying he never watches a Michigan game and, but you know what I'm saying? Like, is Tom Brady some sort of genius of watching college football and knowing who's who and stuff? Right? Like, so that's my deal here. That's been the biggest problem for the Raiders at heart, Scott, to be honest. If you want to cut to the chase, is they're a bad draft team.
Yeah.
They don't do well at the draft. You know what I mean? Like, they're really bad. They dropped Brock Bowers. He's really good, but you suck. Like, you got other needs.
Raiders do have the football. They're out midfield.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. There was a game yesterday, Gabe, where it didn't make any sense to me. And it's a good example of how line movements can, really have an insight into what's going on. That was the Pittsburgh-Cincy game where the line dropped, the over-under dropped to 48 and a half. And I'm like, how is this not getting to 50 points? Remember the shootout we had, 33-31 just a couple of weeks ago, right? Lo and behold, game goes under. Same thing here. It's like I'm saying to myself, how is Dallas and Las Vegas not getting to 50 points? And yet each team with one possession, each 3 and out. Now Dallas has the ball inside their own 5-yard line after a pretty good punt, and the over-under is already down to 44.5. So you might be right about this one. I hate going unders, especially with teasers. I'd prefer going over. But, in the end, maybe this won't be the crazy game that I'm thinking it will. Maybe the defenses will step up a little bit tonight.
I do think the Dallas Cowboys defense is better than their numbers. They've been very unhealthy through the year, right? So they had a lot of injuries. They bring in Quinnen Williams right now. They get Malik Hooker back. They got some good football players on defense. Like, technically, they should be better on D than they are, right? Like, so they've had a hard time with the run. They've gotten a little better at it, though. And the Raider offense is just that bad, guys. It really is. Like, they don't have any wide receivers. Like, name the Raider wide receivers.
Yeah.
Trey Tucker? Who's Trey Tucker, Scott?
Yeah.
He's their number one. He's
Trey
their number
Tucker
one.
And Tyler Lockett is their number 2, who's been kicked aside now.
Tyler Lockett's been brought in, was kind of like, all right, I'll play if you need me. Like, you know what I mean? He was sort of like, okay. Yeah, sure. He wasn't even playing. He's like, all right, sure. If you want, I know Gino. Yeah, I know you, Pete, right? Like, he got brought in because he was Well, I could go on and on about this. A Buffalo Bill fan. I was irate, like, that we helped the Kansas City Chiefs get Xavier Worthy. And the Buffalo Bill said at the time, well, we weren't going to take Xavier Worthy anyway. So it's like, yeah, but you don't help the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, you already, you traded your draft pick that they drafted Mahomes with years ago. You figure they would have learned their lessons, Scott, right? So they draft Keon Coleman instead. All right, the wide receiver from Florida State. They draft Keon Coleman instead early in the second round. Keon Coleman was a healthy scratch this week, Scott, and I love that we signed Mecole Hardman, who played yesterday. It's like, you're telling me that we let them draft Xavier Worthy, and you can't admit that, well, we didn't want Xavier Worthy, that now we got we got Mecole Hardman from the Chiefs, who, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't make it up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't make some of the decisions up that these NFL general managers make, and they get away with it, man. But it is what it is. But, yeah, this game, Scott, I just thought that the Raiders, and for the record, I clicked under 45.5. So I got a 45.5. I see 44.5 now myself, too, but I did get a 45.5. I just clicked it. I think the Raiders, they can't get into a track meet with the Cowboys. The Cowboys can't score normally. And the other thing is the Raider defense does compete. Like, they got Crosby. They got guys on the D-line. They do compete. And speaking of which, we got a turnover. Raider ball right now. So I just bet on the under, and the Raiders going to have the ball. Like, inside the red zone. Was that Crosby?
Fumble. I will say that
Raider cheerleaders do rock those. One thing the Raiders still have, the Raiders cheerleaders still rock.
Old school, yeah.
Everything else
sucks, but he is old school when it comes to that stuff. So, what do we get, a fumble?
Yeah, so Crosby knocks the ball loose from Dak Prescott. And his arm isn't going forward. It's a fumble. Like, he came in to sack him, and he knocked the ball loose. So, Raider ball, man, on like the 12-yard line or so here. Good opportunity for Genti to score a touchdown.
Crosby is like anti-Gino. Gino, his numbers are awful, right? We gave them, prime time. But Crosby, his numbers, regular games are meaningless. But I will say, whenever the dude's on prime time, he plays well. A little bit of a phony fraud in my world because I would be wanting to get the hell out of there, but he doesn't for whatever reason. The Raiders version of Myles Garrett.
Dude's got like a Raider tattoo on his back, bro.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like a big time, like, huge logo and stuff. Like, he loves the Raiders. Yeah, he's one of these, I want to be here when we get good type of deals. But, yeah, okay, buddy. Like, you know what, though? The way he's playing, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay. But the way he's playing, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? So, he's not like he's not going to get anything out of this, you know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, he's never went to them and said, I want to be traded.
No. And I'm sure
he does get mad when they're bad, though. Like, he has confronted Davis, and he has said, like, what's our plan, and what, you know what I mean? Like, he wants to win, right? But, like, they're helpless, Scott. Like, if I was a player, I'd want out. Look at Devontae Adams. He was there 1 year. He's like, yo, I got to go. Like, I can't stay here. Like, he knew. He was like, I cannot stay here. I got to go.
Yeah. All right, In-Game Live continues here on the Grid.
to him after the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. So wasted opportunity by the Raiders. They do get the field goal, but boy, they had it basically first and goal right around the 15-yard line or so. They can't produce anything. So little 35-yard field goal by Carlson. So 3-0 Raiders on top. Dallas will get the ball for the third time, actually. So numbers, it's still Dallas favored by 1.5. That hasn't really changed that much. And the over-under is at 46.5. So the beauty of betting in 2025, the days of, oh, man, I just missed. We talked about it, days of just missing the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't bet the game. That's long gone. Long gone.
And the new
Obviously,
thing, Scott,
show.
Yeah, you can show up an hour after the game starts and still bet the first touchdown score market, it seems, in these primetime games. Like, seriously, look, it's 8:33 right now, still no first touchdown. It's like, get home late from work, I want to bet the first touchdown score. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, first touchdown won't happen until the third quarter or something like that. But, yeah, we do have a 3-0 lead. I got a kick. Raj Markazi posted this before the game tonight, but ESPN had a shot of Vegas before the game. Right. And it wasn't a live shot because the Tropicana was still there, and the Tropicana got blown up a year ago.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's they can't come up with a newer picture than that.
They got lazy in the room there at Bristol. Like somebody was told, hey Paul, we need a stock shot of Vegas for Monday Night Football pregame. It's like, yeah, here you go. Like this. It's like, hey, I'd be called a dumbass. Like the Tropicana's in the picture. It got blown up a year ago. And the funny thing is, the Tropicana is really big in the shot too. Like you could really, it almost features the Tropicana in the shot. Like it's like, it's kind of an old picture, guys. But that's the world that we're in right now. But I kind of get the feeling that the Cowboys will do something on this drive. Guys, look, their first drive, 3 plays, 6 yards, punt. Second drive, 3 plays, 11 yards, and a fumble. So it's been a disastrous start for the Pokes so far on offense.
So much for coming out with inspired football, right? You think you would for their fallen, compadre there, that they would come out.
That would be more on the defensive side of the ball. He was a defensive player.
Yeah. And defensively, they've done a good job. 2 drives by the Raiders, they get the 3 points, but that's no fault of their own. So
the defensive guys, all these players, all these teams, they're very cliquish, like as far as the positions are concerned, because they practice in packs, right? So, like, you know, you got a linebacker coach, you have a linebacker meeting, you have offensive line meetings. Like, the old line all stick together. Like, they're not all, like, it's very fractured. You know what I mean? Like, Josh Allen will hang out. Like, I guarantee you guys, like, Josh Allen ain't going out for dinner with, like, the D-line and stuff too often. And Josh is pretty, like, you know, he's pretty cool with other players, but, like, it is very segregated as far as positions. They're busy during the week, too, right? You got defensive meetings going on. You got offensive meetings going on. Like, you know, on the field, they're all sort of in their own little bubbles. Then they'll go against each other. But, like, even in the real world, guys, like, the ones are going against the 2s and 3s and stuff on offense, right? Like, it's not like they're all battling. So, like, they don't talk to each other as much as people would think. Like, they'll see each other in the massage room and, you know what I mean, in the weight room and stuff like that. But a guy was talking about it. Like, one of the Dolphin coaches, Scott, was saying. A guy that was one of the Dolphin coaches was with the Cowboys before. And he knew him. He knew Nealon. And he talked about it. He goes, you know, normally we really wouldn't have known each other. I worked on offense as a coach, and he was on defense. But the coach said how he got injured in real life doing something, and he was always in the rehab room with Nealon. Nealon was rehabbing from something. So he goes, you know, I got to know him by chance because I got injured. I was in the weight room all the time, and I got to know Leland type thing. So, yeah, they're very segregated like that. But, you know, the guys on defense are all fired up tonight, right? Like, these guys want to make plays. We'll see if the offense can get something going. Lamb did pick up some yards. Cowboys on the Raiders' 32-yard line right now.
Yeah. And listen, you and I and fans know that Dallas is not going to make the playoffs this year. But, you know, if you're a Cowboy, you hope you're not thinking that way. If they win tonight, you know, you're 4-5-1, not great, but that only puts you one game back in the loss column from the last playoff team, which at this point is San Francisco at 7-4.
Who was that last one that they lost? That was bad. Like, if they would have won that game, they could have been, like, shooting for 500 tonight.
Arizona at home. Yeah,
that was the one. Like, that was the one that, like, you really could have been. You would have been in the playoff picture without winning. Like you said, they're not out of it. You know, like, they're thinking, all right, we can go on a run still. We've got our guys back on defense and all that. They've got to make plays, though, right?
Yeah. Tough schedule too ahead. This is the one that if you're really going to live the dream, then you absolutely positively have to get this one because they got Philadelphia on there still. They got Kansas City is still on the schedule. No, they played the Broncos. Detroit is still on there as well. Yeah, so this is just an absolute, you know, if you live in the dream, and why not? So, yeah. So
Chiefs and Cowboys on Thanksgiving. All right, here's the field goal attempt. Son of a, I thought it was, I thought it was in my, it's 50 yards. I need 55. Like, it's a 50-yard attempt. I was like, you know what? I think this might be a 55-yarder. Yeah, he drilled it right down the middle easily.
Wow.
50-yard field goal.
Sign, though. It's a good, you know, little precursor.
Yeah, there'll be another longer one later.
Yeah, he made a 50-yarder pretty easily. So, okay, let's give this a try versus him shanking it and just to say, no, we're giving up on that. So
no, they let him try like 66-yarders. Like he's the one guy.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's Aubrey on the Cowboys, Scott. Yeah, he's like, there's a few dudes. Dude on the Lions, dude on the Cowboys, dude on the Jags. Those are the three sort of, all right,
the Bronco guy is good. In Denver.
Well, with the altitude. Yeah, with the altitude. But who's the Denver kicker now? Isn't it McManus? Where's McManus now? Is it?
Was he hurt? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I think it is.
But York, the guy on Jacksonville, he set the record. York.
The Jacksonville guy.
On Jacksonville. 67-yarder.
It is Lutz. Will Lutz.
Will Lutz, that's it. Yeah, Will Lutz is pretty good. But Will Lutz doesn't drill like 66-yarders, though.
Yeah. He's had a pretty good. He was with the Saints, if you remember, so he's kicking indoors, and now he's in Denver. So these guys had a pretty good for as far as field goal kicking is concerned.
I'm surprised the total's 47.5 right now.
Yeah, you got.
They haven't moved it that much.
Really only had one drive.
Yeah, considering we've only had 2 field goals, like I don't see like a lot of optimism that suddenly this game is going to open up. The Raiders' defense is playing well tonight. Right, they are. They're getting in Dak's face. He completed a long pass over the middle, whatever. CeeDee Lamb picked up some yards after the catch, but they haven't really done anything. I don't see the Raiders suddenly starting to go up and down the field, so I'm surprised has it been more of an adjustment than the 47.5 that I see right now?
Yeah. Statistically, they're on pace. If you watch the game, you lower it. But on pace for 49 points, we'll just say 7 touchdowns, right? They theoretically have one. You need, basically 2 a quarter, and you got 5.5 minutes left. Yeah. So it doesn't look pretty, but statistically, it is right there. I played a couple of hockey hunches tonight, and so far it's not working out, I must say. I thought the Bruins were home dogs, were live dogs today. They're 8-1, 7-1. Their last 8-1. Their last 9 actually. They were getting $1.50 and change against Carolina, but Carolina's up 2-0. And I thought the Kings, were they going for their 7th, 8th straight road win? I thought were live dogs against Washington. That's the one I'd probably hop on here after 2. Yeah, they get 3-1 now. You're only 2-1.
They're showing a shot of the F1 track. Looks super cool. I was at the inaugural Vegas F1 race. It was pretty lit. Night racing in Vegas on the Strip. It's hard to top.
Be cool.
But yeah, it is. It is cool. It's expensive, but it's cool. Buffalo Sabres beating the Oilers 3-1. Scott, me too. I'm getting lit up on the ice right now. I'm on the Edmonton Oilers. They're losing 3-1 to the Sabres after 2 periods. Like you, I'm on the LA Kings. We still have a shot. It says 2-1. We're going into the 3rd period. But we're losing 2-1. I'm on the Vancouver Canucks, plus 1.5. They were up 2-0. Now they're losing 5-3. I got them plus 1.5. They're winning 2-0. Now I'm down by 2 goals again. And then I threw the Montreal Canadiens in, Scott, and they're losing 1-0 to the Blue Jackets. I'm not winning 1 of 4 games right now.
That's not good. Still plenty of time, though. Still plenty of time.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, we got Raiders in the red zone. We'll go back to the NHL and NBA here in a sec, but just want to update the Dallas and Raiders game. So Raiders get the ball. They move down the field. They get it in the red zone. Of course, they go backwards a little bit here as they got now 3rd and 14 for the Dallas 21. Typical Raiders offense, I suppose. Tied at 3 with the 48.5 now your number. And that's why they kind of kept
and then they get sacked, Scott.
Oh,
and they get sacked on third down. During the break, I told Wetzel as they move the ball, I said, yeah, the Raiders always move the ball, but their problem is when they get to the red zone. I don't know what it is. Like they're received because you can spread it out. Once you get in a tight space, you got a problem. Your receivers need to get open. Geno seems to tighten up as well when they get into the red zone. So boom, like right on cue, Scott. They get into the red zone, they end up going backwards, and now they got to kick a field goal. But Geno is playing well tonight. That's not his fault. He got sacked.
Yeah.
He's 8 of 10 passing so far. Like he's throwing these quick bullets, like Cowboys secondary, Raider wide receivers are getting open. Like the Cowboys secondary's got to tighten up, but Cowboys D-line is good. So like they are getting pressure. I think that's the second sack already actually on them. The field goal is good. So we got a 6-3 game. I see a 48.5 right now as far as the total is concerned. Like you said, they are racking up the points. They are field goals only, but 3 field goals, and now one of them from 55 yards yet.
No touchdowns yet still. That's still open. So, yeah, I tell this to people. I say, there's a reason why a guy is still in the league after, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it's been for Geno, right? I mean, and there's also a reason why he's never won a Super Bowl and probably won't. But you got to accept, 500 teams. You equate it to a 500 team that looks so bad when they lose, but they're good enough to be a 500 team. Geno's good enough to still be in the league. He'll go up and down the field.
He won 10 games last year.
Yards. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
with the Seattle Seahawks.
So, yeah,
he won 10 games.
He's good. He's like good as he's above average, I would say. Right?
Put it this way: Geno can be good on a good team, but good teams don't want him. Yeah, but good. If you notice, good teams don't want him, so he ends up sort of on these bad teams. Like how fair is his record? You're on the New York effing Jets. Like seriously, you and I talked about it. Like, how many in the history of the Jets, there's probably like 5 quarterbacks with a winning record. Like Chad Pennington, Vinny Testaverde, Joe Namath, 3.
Joe Namath.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Chad Pennington, Vinny Testaverde, Joe Namath.
I don't even know Namath.
Did Joe Namath even have a winning record? I was going to say that. They won the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean they had a winning record. You're right. Like,
they were pretty bad,
So my whole point is, no one can succeed there. So, all right. Then he was on the New York Giants. He was a backup, and then they made him the starter when they got mad at Eli Manning, and they took away Eli Manning's consecutive game streak. So he's on a bad Giant team. He's on a bad Jet team. He ends up on on an average Seattle team. They end up winning 10 games.
Yeah.
Right? They just didn't really want to pay him the big money. Right? Exactly. They just didn't want to pay this. No, they missed the playoffs. They missed the playoffs last year. They won 10-7. But,
2 years ago,
with Pete Carroll, they made the playoffs. You're right. They lost and they fired him still. You're right. So that's what I'm saying. So, he's not terrible, Geno. I'm not an anti-Geno guy. I've always thought he was better than, he is who he is. A guy that I'm souring on, though, is Jared Goff. Like last night and the Detroit Lions as a whole.
Passes, though. That Lions team, to me, Gabe, they showed why they won't win a Super Bowl with Ding-a-ling Dan Campbell. I mean, I know it's fun and it's goofy and it's aggressive
that was
and all this other stuff.
Night. He went for it 5 times. He was 0 for 5.
Yeah. 5 freaking times.
And he left points on the field, Scott, earlier. It was like, dude, and now late, you're kicking a 54-yard field goal late because, I need a field goal now to make it to 7. Yeah, no kidding, Dan. You could have kicked 2 more of them earlier and we wouldn't be in this position now. He doesn't learn, and he blamed the players after, kind of, and he didn't blame them, but in a subconscious, subliminal way, he did. He was asked about it. He said, "I believe in my guys that they can make plays." That's not the question, though, really. We believe. I believe in your players. Your players are fine, but you're putting him in a bad spot, man. Right? It's not just about I got to make plays. He wanted to go for it on 4th and 17 last night. He had to be talked out of it. And why does he think he should be calling the plays suddenly, Scott? What am I missing on this? The Lions are scoring all these points, and now you take the play calling away from the offensive coordinator? Why? You know why the Lions are losing football games? Because you got a million injuries on defense. They really do. Their secondary is shredded. They do have a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football. So, I don't know. To me, Scott, I didn't understand why Campbell's calling the plays, and that's a bad idea, bro. Because you and I know, he's already in charge as it is when he doesn't call the plays, and he overrides stuff and says, we're going to do this and that. I don't want Dan Campbell in complete control, Scott. Like, I don't think this is going to end well.
If I was doing a game, I would have the coordinator call the plays, but I'm on obviously the headset, and I'll tell them, listen, let's throw the ball here. Let's get it to Amon St. Brown here, or let's get it to this guy here, or let's run the ball.
The OC clearly pissed him off, Scott. Something must have happened behind the scenes, right? About play calling and like
absolutely, yeah,
philosophical differences type of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
something.
Yeah,
but
players, like I said, but it's just strange to me,
right? Yeah.
Like I talk about it, like good teams, Scott. Remember we talk about like good hockey teams don't change their lines in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, what are we doing? Like at this point, like sort of like, what are we doing with the baseball lineup now? Is it a sign of panic? If you're a Detroit Lion player, like how often have you seen a good team fire a coordinator midseason?
Yeah.
Like the skies have fallen on the Lions. It was kind of, they didn't fire him, but they took away his like play calling. Like Dan Campbell's calling the plays. So he's an advisor now. You basically chopped his balls off. Let's call it for what it is. Yeah, but you know what? They put up 52 or 50 a bunch of times this year. Like I don't see like coordinating as your problem. I kind of see you, the head coach, is the problem, to be honest. You keep on putting the team in a bad position. And you're slow starters as a team. Like, you know what I mean? This is a problem for them, Scott. They're always digging these holes for themselves in these games, in big games all the time.
It's like I equate it to a guy who plays lotto, Gabe. There's the scratch-off player, and then there's the lotto player. He's instant gratification. He can't punt the ball and be the lotto and just wait for lotto. He needs that scratch-off. I need to get the first down and roll right now.
Scratch tickets never win.
Never win.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing on fast hour number 1. So they just started the second quarter. Raiders do lead 6-3, but Dallas has the football in the red zone. So 61 yards passing so
nearly
far
a touchdown.
Ooh, really?
Pickens Pickens caught it. It was a great catch, but he was out of bounds in the end zone. Like he got like 1 foot in.
Oh,
it's not. It wasn't. Yeah, exactly. But he was out of bounds. And boom, right. There it is, the wide open CeeDee Lamb touchdown. Cowboys on the board. So your total is starting. This total is caught on pace with all these field goals. To be honest with you, there's the touchdown. CeeDee Lamb with the first touchdown of the game. We cash a CeeDee Lamb prop touchdown. Good. And we got Dak over 1.5 touchdown passes as well, so I'll take it. There's a start. But total is up to 53.5 right now.
Yeah. We're not getting out, I shouldn't say that. We are getting some offense, but it's 16 points, and we're 1 play into the 2 plays into the second quarter.
Weird.
So, yeah.
It's the weirdest 16 points ever. Bunch of field goals and a couple of big plays. Like, there's been no, sustained, success, really. Right? I mean, the Raiders, let's be real, the Raiders got gift-wrapped the ball on the 12-yard line, and they can only score 3 points out of it. But that was a nice drive for the Cowboys. They did go down the field. So we got a 10-6 game right now. Cowboys up to -5.5. Like I said, Scott, I played the Cowboys -3. I played the Cowboys tease to the under. So I got it under 55.5. I'm getting a little concerned, but I think it'll slow down. And I played a moneyline parlay with the smoking hot Toronto Raptors. Raptors are 7-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 8 games. Yeah. Started off the season 1-4, and now they're 8-5. Potentially to be 9-5 after tonight. So I played a moneyline parlay. Raptors to win, Cowboys to win. For the record, the Raptors have now just gone to the half right now with a 5-point lead. They were laying 8.5, so 5-point lead. They're up 57-52 at the break.
I thought that line, we said it in the break, I thought that line was a little light. I mean, listen, 8.5 points nowadays for an NBA game isn't really that much. And taking out a Charlotte team that just stinks. I thought that should have been double digits at home, but up 5, which is actually a pretty good number. It's not, and in a lot of goofy ways, Gabe, I'd rather be up 5 than 15, to tell you the truth. Okay, they're going to go into halftime thinking, all right, we still got ourselves a game here. Let's take things seriously. And
they didn't play great by their standards. I think they could dial it up a notch still here in the second half. And Scott, the Hornets, I was watching the game earlier, and they brought it up. This is the Hornets' 3rd game in 4 nights. It's got to catch up to them. Basically, the Raptors knew this, and they were talking about the Raptors want to push the pace tonight. So I was surprised. I didn't play the over because I was like, man, it's a pretty high number. Let me look in game. And still now, hey, look at this. 232.5. We're only at 109. It's pretty high. The computer is expecting points still in this game. I think the Raptors will push the tempo and try to just wear the Hornets out as the game goes on.
Yeah. Raptors have beaten the Hornets. Everyone has, but to just throw it out.
9 in a row.
9 straight. Yeah, 9 in a row. So, listen.
Scott, I think they're going to cover, bro. They're up by 5, and they're laying 7.5 right now for people jumping in. I think the Raptors win the second half by 3 points. I think they pull away in the 4th.
Again, it's 8.5, and you got a 5-point lead. It's not really making sense here. I got a 7.5, 8.5 point favorite, up 5, and you're not moving the number. It's something's not, it does. And Hornets playing 3rd.
They don't trust the Raptors.
I guess
they don't trust the Raptors as a favorite, right? It's all right, you're 7-1, you're 7-1, but you've been the underdog all the time for the most part, or small favorite, right? You know what I mean? They were favored the other night against the Pacers on the road. So now let's see if the Raptors cover in a favorite role, then. The odds makers have noticed their run. We'll put it that way. The Raptor numbers are definitely starting to change a little bit. And like I said, it could be 9-5, which is a pretty solid record. And this is pretty wild, too. The Raptors have only played 4 home games this year. Wow. It's the lowest in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're 2-2 at home only. They've only played 4 home games out of 13. They played 9 road games. And they're 8-5. So they're putting themselves in a pretty good position to rack up some wins moving forward.
Yeah. I hate, I'm not going to bring it up anymore because it's just, I'm done with the Indiana Pacers. I actually played Detroit tonight, laying 10.5. Pacers getting walloped again by 20-plus points. The Pistons have won 9 in a row. Indiana's 0-7. Listen, they're 1-12 on the season. So they're 1-6 against the spread. I'm not sure when the boys have they're starting to now. They were 10.5-point dogs, but they're awful. I don't know if they're just quitting on the season, but 1-12 about to be 1-13. More NBA hockey football when we come back.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Hour number 2 on a Monday night football, Monday evening. Scott Wetzel, Gabriel Morency. We got some football. We got college basketball, a little NBA. We're talking some hockey as well. Let's bring in our good buddy, Mr. Sean Higgs, winnersandwhiners.com. Joins us every Monday, Thursday night, at least for the most part anyway. What's going on, Sean? How are you tonight?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad. I guess I'm against you guys. You guys had the over. I like the under in this game here tonight. The Cowboys.
I teased the Cowboys and the under, too. So, yeah, I like it to slow down a little bit, Sean.
And like you said, it's like a weird – you're watching, you're like, how the heck is this on pace to go over with the field goals? But it's like they get these huge chunk plays, and it's like sack, field goal. Like, all right, there we go, another field goal.
Raiders got a big run. Genty popped one for like 12 or something, and they started to move the ball a bit. But right on cue, they go backwards, and he just got sacked twice. So that's 4th and 19, and they have to punt.
The
Cowboys' D-line is lighting the Raiders up right now, the O-line. That's one of the keys to I think in the long term, it's going to be a problem for the Raiders as we go on through this game. They can't protect Geno Smith.
3 sacks and 4 other tackles for loss, guys. So 7, in essence, 7 tackles for loss for the Cowboys. We're only early second quarter.
I figured Dallas was going to be a little pumped up.
The pocket's just collapsing on them, too.
I was going to say for Dallas, bye week, 2 losses, trades, loss of a player. They were going to be a little emotional coming out kind of strong here. You got to kind of like them. The Raiders are a mess. They're a mess. Well, what is their goal? Well, why don't you got Geno playing? Why not put in a backup? What is your game plan? You're gonna roll this guy out here next year. You want to win because the coach needs win. I don't. Some of these teams I don't understand their.
Well, they're losing anyways. At least if they want to keep losing, just keep doing what they're doing. They're losing anyway.
Who's the backup over there? Who they got? Garoppolo. Who's the backup?
Kenny Pickett.
Put freaking Pickett in there. If you're going to lose, see if this guy's anything. He was a pick. People thought he was a it's draft time. Everybody's a franchise quarterback. Give him a shot.
No, if you put Pickett in, Pickett's going to run around out there trying to win games. Like a couple of wins will buy him another 5 years in the league.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then what do you do if he's okay? Yeah, right. Raiders at this point are kind of. I think the Raiders are like the Dolphins and not firing Mike McDaniel. I don't want to have an interim head coach put a spark in his team. Season's over. Let's let the current situation play itself.
I was on the Dolphins yesterday. I told you. You start winning now down the stretch.
Yeah.
Got to take advantage of it.
I took a Tyler Lockett touchdown prop today, thinking 4-1. It's old teammate.
That's not bad.
Hi, let's all be friends together again. A little reminisce of good old times. Yeah, well,
Richard Sherman to suit up tonight too for the Raiders. You want Richard Sherman to take the field?
I'm just saying, who else? I mean, they traded Myers. I like the tight ends. I get it, but he's familiar with the guy. You'd think he'd be on the field and kind of knows how he goes. He'd throw him the ball.
He will. I played his over props, 28.5 receiving yards.
What are the props now? So let's see. What's the receiving props? So receiving yards, Raiders. Lockett has nothing, so his number is down to 15.5 right now. Trey Tucker has 4 yards. He's at 37.5. Michael Mayer, 1 yard, 19.5 is his number. They're all pretty high, their numbers still. Brock Bowers, 35 yards already. His number, 89.5.
Wow. That makes sense. You're going to force feed the guy. You think you go down 17
yards. That's a lot of yards.
Yeah, for a tight end. Without any other receivers.
What's his receptions? Guys, his receptions is 7.5 plus 128 to the over. They think he's going to catch another 6 balls. I got to tell you, the computer has a pretty optimistic view of all these wide receivers still. More optimistic than I do. I'm like, whoa, these are high numbers. Like too high for me to jump in on.
They think, Gabe. I think they think that, the Cowboys are going to pull ahead and go up a couple of scores here. And then the Raiders are going to have to throw the ball. Yeah. So they're not going to get caught with their pants down.
I don't disagree with that take.
Yeah, because Genti's down to 49.5 yards rushing, and he already has 10. So that's only 40 more yards. I don't think they're going to be running the ball at all.
You're telling me Genti only has 10 yards?
Yeah.
God, this poor bastard.
Because he lost so many.
That's what it's like playing for the Raiders. Huh? Like he rushed for 15 yards or 12 yards on one, and he still has 10. Because the poor kid gets hit behind the line of scrimmage every goddamn time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was that's a good.
You can't rip this Genti kid. You can't rip him. This line is bad, Scott. I saw a stat he's been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than anybody in the NFL. So imagine, guys, he gets the ball and he gets hit. He can't even get to the line of scrimmage before the other team hits him. That's not his fault, right? He really has been put in a bad spot, man.
Jeez. He wasn't ready for that, or the team wasn't ready for a running back. It just wasn't.
No, it was a luxury item again.
Yeah, you just got to settle on a 3rd or 4th round pick if you know what you're doing. That's the final piece of the puzzle. With the Ravens with Derrick Henry, I thought that obviously made sense with signing him.
But look at the Patriots, what they did. They went boring and took offensive linemen and stuff, right? And they're like, you know what? We'll sign guys. We'll sign free agents. We'll bring in Stephon Diggs or whatnot. Exactly, Vrabel knows meat and potatoes. You got to build the lineup. You're the Raiders. Your last 2 first-round draft picks, guys, are Brock Bowers and Ashton Genti. Say, guys, we don't have a quarterback. We don't have an offensive line. We don't have a defense. What are we doing? Can you draft a freaking tight end? Well, I know he's good, but we got a lot of other problems.
No offensive lines work out real well in Cincinnati for Joe Burrow, guys.
They ended up getting him killed. They did go to a Super Bowl, but in the long run, he's missed half of his career.
Yeah. I wonder if he actually comes back.
Because they wanted T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. That is all because of that. It was basically.
Yeah. Well, all 3 of them on the field are pretty good. You got him. He's a pretty good quarterback when he's on the field.
But
I'd see that this year. Gabe, you could come back. Why come back? Be crappy, get a draft pick, fire the coach. Draft an offensive
I don't know
lineman.
why Burrow's going to play again, but that's we'll see. That's a dumb idea. And now Jamar Chase is suspended for the next game because he spat on Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. Which he did. He clearly did, right? Showing the highlight. Why isn't that reviewable, Sean? Why can't, when you throw another player out, you would think out of all plays that are reviewable, you'd say, all right, let's figure out really what happened here if we're going to throw a player out. They both should have got thrown out yesterday.
Second guy is always a penalized guy. We know this. Second guy's always penalized. He's the guy who's taking the heat. Although you're right, though. If you're going to kick a guy out, you got to be like, what are we doing here? That doesn't work. All the replays and other nonsense they pull for all this crap. You'd think in a situation like that, they'd want to, even if it's after the fact, even if it's the next game, if they don't penalize them for that instance, we see this time and time again, right? Guy gets 15-yard penalty and like, dude, the guy gouged me or some nonsense, And, nope, it's on you. Forget it, 15 yards. And I don't get it.
Out of all plays that are reviewable, that should be on the list there. So you got Geno now, 255.5 yards. You give any hope for the Raiders here. Getting 5.5, and he's got 255. That's 170 more yards.
Cowboys are moving the ball right now. They are into like the 35 type thing. They're having a nice little drive here. So the Cowboys are moving the ball.
Yeah.
You mentioned Genti. He had the 11-yard run, but he only had 2 carries. You think he'd had more? I thought he had more. He's got 2 carries.
They've tried to throw it to him a couple of times. Does he have a catch, Tim? Yeah. Or they one hopped one to him, too? Did he drop it?
On 4 looks. That's what happens.
You draft a kid, and then you get 4 looks, like in the first half. Like, they don't know what the hell they're doing, the Raiders. Like you said, Sean. Like, they're all over the place, this team. And this is why they're 2-7 right now. Cowboys moving the ball, though. First down post.
Back to the board we go. We can come back and get live.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. Dallas leading it 10-6. We're talking with our good buddy Sean Higgs, winnersandwhiters.com, and they're on the move. They got it to Vegas 5, 4th and 1. Here we go. Do we kick the field goal, go up a 7-pointer? I don't mind going
They're
for it.
They're going for it.
To be honest with you.
They're
yeah. I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that, guys?
We've got a timeout.
Timeout? Okay.
We've got a timeout. Yeah, Dallas timeout, which I don't like. I'm always the believer, if you're going to go for it, just go for it quicker. Now you're giving the defense a chance to set up and get their breath and stuff. Yeah, I always believe if you're going to go for it, like you know it before and you line up right away. It's like, guys, we're going to line up right away. We're going to run a QB sneak, and they'll probably jump offside or something. You catch them off guard when you go fast. You go slow. You're giving them a chance to rest and gear up. I don't like it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Just the thought, Sean, of going for 4th and 1.
You got Philly, okay with Kansas City, and Detroit coming up for Dallas. You need to win. What are you playing games for? Go for it. You lose this game, it don't make a difference if you can't get a win.
But of course they go in a shotgun like right away. I don't like it. So empty back set shotgun.
They got in
touchdown Ferguson.
Nice. Good call there.
So we hit the over 1.5 touchdown passes already for Dak Prescott. There it is.
Play. What was the vig on that, Gabe? That's a pretty good play. You knew it was going to be high scoring.
It was a little pricier. It was minus 170.
Juicy? Okay.
Minus 170. Yeah, over 1.5. Cash it. Yeah, first half. At least it's out of the way. I don't have to sweat it out, right? I knew Ferguson was going to have success. We played Ferguson over. What's Ferguson at now is yards, but that was a short pass. He's got a few short ones. What's he at now? We talked about it, though. Like, that's Doc's guy.
I tell you, I do hate that play, though. I know it was successful, but you drop back the pass, not a rollout, not a quarterback push, not a handoff. You just straight drop back the pass. I mean,
if Ferguson wasn't open, Scott, that play doesn't work. Yeah, if Ferguson doesn't open, no one else was. So it's like, dude, if that was jammed up, the play doesn't work. So you got a 4th and 1 from the 5, and your quarterback has the ball suddenly at the 10, Scott. We talk about it. It's like, what are we doing? Like, you make it a lot harder than it has to be. You know, like, he's on the 10 now. You got to pull it into the end zone, you know?
I took a $20 for 500, Fergie, CD, and a Lockett touchdown. Hey, can Lockett get on the field here?
Okay.
Well, you got a Fergie. So now you just got to get a Lockett in here. Yeah.
Is he on the field? Does he got a helmet on, or is he at the concession stand eating pretzels?
You got to find a book that lets you bet no on touchdown.
Yeah, as I was just saying, you got to find a way to
scour right now. Tyler Lockett, no. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Lay the odds.
Because
he did come on second half the first game. So I remember the first game, he didn't have anything either first half, or basically nothing. And then second half, they kind of went to him a little bit.
I think the Raiders got a couple of guys back. They're not good, but they're deeper tonight than they were before. Because if you'll notice, to be honest, the Raider wide receivers are actually kind of getting open tonight, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? Like they have.
12.5.
What's his catches down to? If it gets down to 0. Remember last week, that's what it was, Scott, at halftime. It was 0.5.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Lockett's going to get one catch, man. And then he ended up getting 3 on one drive type of deal. Right? So if it hits 0.5, that's what I'm waiting for these guys. Let's see where we're at now.
Yeah.
He's down to 1.5 now, receptions.
All right. I would wait. I know they got the
ball now. You can bet under, Sean, receptions for him. That's a way to sort of hedge it. But it's only 1.5. So, like, you get burnt. You know what I mean?
Like,
you can catch 2 passes and not get a touchdown. Like that, you know what I mean?
I'm not going to look to do that. If my thought was they'd be down.
20 to 1? 25 to 1? I would guess,
touchdown was 41. So, 100 for 400.
For the parlay. For that parlay.
Oh, yeah. It was, I don't even know what it was. 25 for 500. What does that come out to?
25 to 1.
20 to 1. Yeah. 25 to win 500? Yeah, 20 to 1. So,
it was a little shot.
Good. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. What else you got tonight? Anything else football-wise or basketball-wise, hockey-wise tonight?
I grabbed the over in the Canucks game. 6.
Nice.
Well, that's a winner.
That's a winner.
The Canucks have made it 6-5. We got a wild one going on.
Wow.
That's under
13 minutes left as well. 6-5. What about Edmonton just suck. They're losing 4-1 to the Sabres.
Wow.
I almost went Montreal.
They're losing 3-1.
I thought, you know what, it was a spot for them. First game of a road trip, that's where I kind of want to grab a hockey team, but I didn't play it.
Canadians have lost 6 of 7. There's a little mini crisis going on with Montreal. I personally thought that getting away from Montreal, they lost 7-0 the other night to the Dallas Stars at home. And Montreal was off to this torrid start, right? They were like 10-3. Now they're 10-8 type of deal. And trust me, Montreal, the things can change quickly with the media and the fans there. So I thought, going on the road might do them some good. And they're losing 3-1 right now. And the LA Kings, we're running out of racetrack for the Kings. Who's on for those of us on the LA Kings? 6:47 left in the game. We're losing 2-1. Need a late goal.
I couldn't do any NBA. I look at these lines. I mean, 20-point, just crazy spreads. I'll hang on. I'll hang on college basketball land for a while. I can't do this NBA.
You got some goofy college basketball plays. What do you
what
like
about
tonight?
the late games tonight?
Topeka highs, yeah.
What about? So we got another one here, big number. Oregon State and Oregon guys. You got a big battle rivalry. The Beavers are getting 14 points. I actually think they're a live dog, Sean. The Beavers.
I like the dog. I'm going to take a dog in a rivalry game. Just on principle. I didn't even look at this game.
Oregon are winning, but they're not blowing teams out. Their offense isn't great, the Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Duck backer. Especially early in the year, you gotta feel it out. A lot of line movement. The totals are, it's tough. I can't just worry about my last year's numbers. A whole new season. I gotta take it slow.
Kansas and Duke tomorrow.
Yeah, Kansas Duke tomorrow. It's a 10. It's a 10 spot. That's a big number.
Yeah, 10.5. Michigan State and Kentucky as well.
I like Texas State and UT Martin. That's where I'm looking. Tennessee.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball is back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live. Game day here on the grid. Thanks again to Sean Higgs, winnersandwhiners.com, joining us as he does Mondays and Thursdays for the most part. So a little NFL, a little college football, or college basketball, a little NBA, and some hockey tonight as well. Little smorgasbord. I will say, baskets, what do we got? Dallas touchdown?
Raiders are moving the ball. They're into the red zone. Geno Smith throws the ball. It gets deflected. Boom, interception. I was just about to say, Scott, boy, this total is really starting to, we're already at 23, and the Raiders are moving the ball right now. And boom, Cowboys pick them off. Yeah. Man, the Raiders, red zone woes. Hey, Scott, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Red zone woes, man. They move the ball down the field, and something bad always happens when the Raiders, get inside, red zone, let's call it the 25 even. You know what I mean? Every time, guys, we've seen it multiple times tonight. They get inside the 20, 25-yard line, and suddenly you get sacked. They go backwards. Endor there, nice drive. They were throwing the ball to Genty. Boom, interception.
Yeah.
I got to see the replay. They went to a break right after. It got hit. Was it a wide receiver? Yeah. What happened here?
Yeah, he was over the middle. Yeah, they tried to throw the ball deep down the field, and he couldn't get it over the linebacker. And the linebacker tipped it. And then it went further down.
And there was 3 jerseys there, too. He kind of threw it into triple coverage. Yeah. One of the Cowboys tipped it in the air, and it was picked off.
Yeah. That's Geno. He's going to be able to go. But we joked about it, but it's almost like they should say, all right.
If we know this, I've said this before. It's guys, when you get inside when you get inside here, guys, seriously, let's tighten this thing up. Let's go with some screenplays, and now we're going to run the ball.
Yes.
Now we're running the ball. You know what I mean? We got Genty. We drafted him 6 overall for a reason. Right? Geno, you got us down to the 18. Now let's just hand it off to Ashton 4 times in a row. They don't do it. They think he's Joe Montana, and every time it blows up on them.
How many times do they need him? He leads the NFL, or at least he did a couple weeks ago, in interceptions. How many times do you need him to show that he's not a good quarterback in those spots? You said it. Run the ball. If he gets the third down, he gets the third down. If you could stop Genty 3 times, then you know what? I'll set up for a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, or maybe I'll kick a field goal. Maybe I'll go for it then. But
and even them passing, Scott, a couple of times. Think about it too. Not just him. A couple of times they've gotten into field goal range, and they go backwards because they get sacked and they lose 10 yards. Yeah, it's because you were throwing the ball again. Why don't you just run the ball? What's the point of drafting Genty? Now is a good time to use him inside the 20-yard line.
He's got 2 touches, Gabe. You've played almost a half.
I'd be mad if I was Genty's agent and I was Genty's people. I'd be mad, behind the scenes. I'd be dude, how long am I stuck here for? If you're Genty, that'd be the question I'm asking. So what, 4 years? I got 3 more years of this? Oh, my God. Really? He's got a 4-year deal, these rookies?
Think about the team they could have right now. They had Devontae Adams. He said, get me the fudge out of here. They got out. They had Josh Jacobs. He said, get me the fudge out of here. He's out of there.
No, and even worse, Scott, Jacobs wanted to stay. They didn't want to keep him. He wanted to stay. They want to pay him.
Yeah. Nuts. They're throwing the ball to Genty. He does have 4 receptions, but he's got 2 carries for 10 yards. They've run the ball 3 times. That's another thing, too,
that you bring up. It's all right, you already had a running back. You had Jacobs, so you let Jacobs go to draft Ashton Genty. There's no plan, Scott. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What was the point? We already have Josh Jacobs, who's actually good. It's it's a lot like the Carolina Panthers if you look over the years. It's we had Sam Darnold, we had Baker Mayfield, we had Christian McCaffrey, right? We had DJ Moore. We had Burns. They had all these good players, but it's amazing how bad teams don't want good players. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's just that you're going up against the Dallas Cowboy team that admittedly has the 3rd worst rushing defense statistically, or a passing defense, right? So I know you're going to throw the ball, but they're also the 4th
give up the
worst
4th most rush yards. 4th most rush yards in the NFL on the ground.
You would think you'd have a balanced attack, right? Going into a game, and yet they've run the ball 3 times. If you take away the one Geno, scramble, they've run the ball 3 times and a half.
That's criminal. Yeah, Ashton Genty has 2 carries, guys. 2 carries.
Yeah.
Two carries against a team that's the 4th worst rushing defense. And we saw him pop that one up the middle for 10 yards.
Yeah.
right? Like, it's not like he can't do it. Give him the damn ball. Like, give him the ball. You know, it's amazing,
team,
Scott. Like,
this is Chip Kelly too. This is Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator.
He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Clearly. All right, Cowboys.
You got Geno Smith with 20 pass attempts already.
20 in the first.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this: very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Yes, there's certain things in the NFL world you can really count on and rely on, and the Raiders being the Raiders, eventually you can ultimately count on that. You really can. Hence their 2-7-1 record. So they don't score. It's 17-6. Welcome back in Game Live, right? They're driving game. Looks like they're going to get at least a field goal. They have the interception deep inside Dallas territory. Dallas makes a nice little play. Then they get a personal foul penalty, the Raiders. Then they give up a 15, 16, whatever it was, yard run. And all of a sudden, Dallas, which was looking like having their lead cut in half, is all of a sudden looking to blow the doors open off the Raiders because the Raiders, undisciplined penalties. Just that's the Raiders.
But you know what?
Raiders. It's always been the Raiders.
For the most part, though,
it's been the Raiders.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Football teams are like people. They can't really change, right?
Yeah.
They can't. Like, you can change as much as you want. You can try to, but you'll always sort of revert back to who you are. And that's why certain teams are just always who they are. And, it just won't change, right? And the Raiders are a good example. The Cleveland Browns just are, who they are right now. Big-time mess. I can't believe the Cleveland Browns are in a mess. They've been a mess, always. They were good for a couple of years in the 80s. Right, in the early 80s. And they had bad luck.
Kosar years, yeah.
Right. They had bad luck against Denver twice.
Yeah.
Right, the fumble and the drive.
Way back then.
Now the Raiders, what the hell just happened here? The Raiders aren't even, trying to tackle anyone now. What the hell was this? So, touchdown Dallas.
Wow.
But I'm looking up. I'm watching the basketball, too, Scott, at the same time. So, I look up, and I just sort of see Pickens. I'm like, is anyone even going to try to tackle him? What just happened with the Raiders here? I got to see the replay here. 37-yard touchdown pass. Dak Prescott has 3 touchdown passes in the first half.
Wow. 23, pending the extra point, 6. Raiders do have a bit of 20, if that helps you any, if you've got the Raiders left still. So we're going to maybe get some more points. But, yeah, I'm seeing it now. It's just like he caught the ball, and there's just nothing. He just kind of cut it to the inside. And the two guys that were kind of going towards his right, they didn't, stop and cut back like Pickens did. I mean, he just kind of waltzed into the end zone, untouched. You don't get untouched too often from the 25-yard line and 23-yard line like he did.
This is the easiest touchdown he's ever going to score in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? At the end of it, look, there's 5 black jerseys there, too, and somebody runs through them, right past them all.
And,
look, there's first guy gets burnt, comes, he cuts, then number 2 misses, number 3 didn't even try, and number 4, so number 3 didn't even try, the third guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's funny because we just said, the Raiders are in meltdown mode. Now they're just almost in quit mode. Seemed like that penalty was the backbreaker, Scott. They got the penalty. Dallas started laughing at them. And the Raiders, everyone on defense on the Raiders all mad, and they want to fight the guys on the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are trolling them right now and just easily scored a touchdown. Look at the Cowboys bench. They're really laughing and hamming it up, too. Normally, I would say the game isn't over, but they're playing the Raiders. So it's I guess it is kind of. So, yeah, we got ourselves a rout, 23-6, extra point pending. There's a bunch of flags on the field after the touchdown.
This might be one of those long games, second half, because there's going to be nothing but penalties and people fighting. And way to really have a nice showcase, Las Vegas Raiders, on national TV. Chance for you to kind of, make amends. Wow. 16 and a half.
I'm on the right side.
16 and a half now. Yeah.
15. You're that's the play I was going to ask you. Yeah, so we're at least on the right side of these games. I like to win at least, Scott. So 15 and a half right now?
Yeah.
I don't see the Raiders coming back, bro. Do you? They don't have the potential to score quickly or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't have any faith in them. I really, I'd be looking at, normally you look at wide receiver props for the team that's losing. I'd be looking at the, Javonte Williams rushing props now.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball. That's the thing with this total. I'm still, look, it's right on my teaser number. It's 56 and a half right now. We are at 30. But like Scott said, I was thinking the same thing. And I said earlier, if you guys remember, I casually just sort of said it'll slow down. Because Dallas are going to have such a big lead. Are they really going to, this isn't college. They're not looking for style points here. At what point do they take the pedal off the metal?
Yeah.
Not yet. Let's say 24-6. 31-6, no. 38-6, yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if it gets to 56 here still.
Get out of this first half with no more scoring. Don't have
Do the Raiders get 3 here at least? Can they get that? I don't think the Raiders are scoring a touchdown here. Can they get to midfield and try a field goal or something?
Well, I was going to say, your 55-yard field goal now comes into play, right? They have a couple timeouts left. I do believe the Raiders. So now you hope they get to the 40-yard line.
So what's Geno now? Geno has 127 passing yards, and I see a 283.5 for me. 283.5.
286.5 on FanDuel. Oof. I'd be careful, though, with that because there is Kenny Pickett. And if he really plays lousy
if they take him out.
Quarter, yeah.
Or he gets hurt. He gets hurt. He is getting murdered and sacked all the time, right? I don't think they'll take him out, but not until fourth quarter, late in the fourth, something like that. But he is getting hit. He is getting hit a lot. So looking at the Raider props here for the reception, since they're the ones down by 18 right now. Genty has 4 catches. He's at 6.5 right now. I could see him getting 3 more catches in this game. Brock Bowers has 3 catches. He's at 7.5. Thornton has 0 catches. He's at 0.5. Normally I like them, but I don't even know if he's on the field. Michael Mayer's got 1 catch. He's at 2.5 receptions now. Trey Tucker has 1 catch. He's down to 3.5 plus 128 to the over. And our boy Tyler Lockett does have a catch, Scott. There's 1 for Lockett.
Yes, he does. I saw that. Yeah.
He's up to 3.5 now, though.
I'd rather do his yards. It's
I would rather do Genty yards too, catching.
Yeah.
Genty's at 17 receiving yards right now. He's at 31.5. I don't know. They're going to throw. they have thrown in the ball 4 times. So I don't, they are giving them a chance at least through the air.
That's what I mean. Down 3 scores. If they're not going to run him when it's a 1 or no score game, are they going to really start running him? If it's a 3-score game, no, but you got to get him the ball. And how do you do that? You throw it to him. So
it's a good point. What's his rushing yards now? Oh, they locked it
right now.
Yeah, they locked it for me too.
I looked up Kenny Pickett, by the way. He's only played. Now, was he on the Raiders from the beginning of the season, or did they pick him up midstream? But he's only played 2 games. One was a goofy, just
he was on the Cleveland Browns before, so I guess I don't know. He's bounced around, right?
But
he was on the Eagles last year and won a Super Bowl.
No, I'm trying to see how fast they pulled Geno, and if this is any indication, they don't pull Geno. Because they've been in a lot of blowouts.
No, bro. They don't pull him.
Twice.
They don't pull him unless he gets injured type thing. And it actually happened. And I think it was a primetime game, if you remember. Geno was getting lit up all game. And I remember, he just finally didn't come in once. And I think I lost a prop because of it, actually, yeah. We got a flag here. Was this pass interference, late hit? Like you said, maybe I can get a late field goal out of this.
They didn't call that late hit? Wow. That was way.
It wasn't on the wide receiver. I don't know what the hell we're seeing here. I don't know what there it is. Yeah, is that Thornton? No, it was Lockett. So, for the Lockett prop, that sucked. Lockett just got interfered with big time, Scott. It was Lockett that did.
Oh,
but Lockett catches one. Big catch for Lockett. Picks up a bunch of yards. See one thing? Oh, sorry. It's Trey Tucker this time. So Lockett with the last catch. This time it's Trey Tucker.
You're killing me.
Yeah, sorry. But Lockett's up to 2, Scott. He's up to 2. Okay,
he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Because now you go back to playing street ball, right? We're down 18. Just throw the ball, Geno. Who's he most comfortable throwing the ball to?
Well, this is exactly. Yeah, he knows where Lockett's going to be, and Lockett knows what Geno wants, and when he's rolling out in a scramble.
Yeah. So, all right, Tom Vecchio coming up. SportsGrid Hope. Ball with him. We come back.
After the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history, he may have been right. But I will say this, very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Final seconds of the first half. Cowboys lead 24-6. Scott and Gabe checking out all the action. 23 seconds left. Raiders, though, are, they do have the football trying to get some points here before the first half comes to a close. Let's bring in our good buddy, SportsGrid host that we see here all the time here on the Grid, Mr. Tom Vecchio. What's going on, Tom? How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Already got a CeeDee Lamb touchdown to the window. Already have that through. Sweating out the under. This drive is important for that. I have under 49.5. Coming into this game, the Cowboys defense has been bad. Everyone knows that. Everyone's talked about it, kind of beating a dead horse at this point. But they got players at the trade deadline, so they're coming off a bye. Those players have yet to play. They're getting this rookie back, and they're getting Overshawn back. They're getting like an injection of talent into the defense. And I saw this as a bit of a buy low spot for the Cowboys defense. Also, this isn't the toughest opponent that they're playing on offense. So I didn't have any expectation that the Raiders were going to score tonight.
And you know what? They kind of haven't, Tom. Like, you know what I mean? Like they got 6 points only. It's kind of one of these weird games. It doesn't feel like there's been 30 points scored in the game, but there has been. Listen, every time the Raiders sort of move down the field, something bad happens to them. And it looks like now they're going to have to settle for a field goal when this is all said and done. There's another flag on the play here. And I thought that was intentional grounding. I don't see how he got away with that personally. Someone was sort of like, you see that, Scott? That was intentional grounding on the last play.
Every Raiders drive has gotten the exact same, where they start off with the deep-ish pass to Brock Bowers, 15 yards, 18 yards, whatever it is. Then they do that stupid side flat pass to Genty, and then he stopped for a couple of yards short. And then all of a sudden, it's second and long, third and long, and then they're in obvious passing situations. And then Geno gets sacked, and they have to settle for a field goal. Every drive is going the exact same for the Raiders. And part of my handicap coming in is if the Cowboys could dot the I's and cross the T's to an extent with Brock Bowers and quote-unquote slow him down, there's not enough talent on the Raiders side for them to put up 20 points. Everyone's going to say, the Cowboys defense is terrible. It is, but they're also giving up those points to competent offense. The Raiders are not that.
Well, you said it, Tom, too. They have Malik Hooker back. They have Overshawn back. They have Quentin Williams right now. Yeah. This isn't the same defense as it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago even. Like they're a lot healthier right now than they were.
Just from a raw talent perspective, and sure, there's going to be some growing pains of like, the guys don't have every assignment, they're not going to have every play call, they're switching this, that, the other thing. But just the raw talent of 4 or 5 players being put into the lineup is something that's like, hang on, we can't be evaluating what they did with who they are now. And it may not be great, but they're better than they were yesterday. That's a fact.
3rd and 5 with 8 seconds left. This is like just a carbon example of what the Raiders offense is. Get inside the red zone, and they're going to be lucky to get a field goal out of this because they've had more goofy plays. You're right, Gabe. That should have been intentional grounding. There was
how the hell wasn't it?
But, yeah, that was real. You know what it was? It's 24-6, and this is a nationally televised game. Let's keep the Raiders still involved in this game.
30 seconds in the first half.
Yeah, let's help the Raiders out a little bit here so we can keep our audience. That's what it is. So they got to kick a field goal here, I would think.
They throw it to the end zone. I thought it was almost going to be caught for a second here, to be honest with you.
You're just a few seconds ahead.
Geno lobbed it in there to the end zone to Bowers, but incomplete. So took 4 seconds off the clock only. And
4th down.
They're going to be kicking a field goal here.
Yeah,
and it won't be a 54-yarder.
No,
38-yard field goal attempt. He's made from 35 and 45 so far tonight, Daniel Carlson.
He's a good kicker, and knowing that the Raiders get stopped and how bad their offensive line is, Geno's going to continue to take sacks. Where look, they get it over midfield on their first 3 drives, and then every time they're just settling for field goals. Geno takes a sack. There's a penalty. Genty gets stopped behind the line, and then all of a sudden
Tom,
they have to settle.
They recovered the ball on the first drive and got the ball on the 12 or the second drive or whatever, and had to settle for 3.
So empty possessions for the Raiders. I will say, if you back the over 49.5, over 50, you got to be kicking yourself. And because there are points left on the table by the Raiders, they could have had 17 points in the first half, and this game would have been cruising over. Now it's a bit of a sweat. The Cowboys are going to run the ball a lot and just limit the chances.
Yeah, I got the over. I'm you know what? I got 33 points. And I got Geno Smith, and oh, by the way, touchdown capable.
Should be feeling pretty good about the over.
Yeah. Even 56 and a half.
17 more points gets you there.
Yeah. I'm liking that.
How do we feel about
Javonte
Dallas?
Williams, 92 and a half. Like, I was thinking the same thing, Tom. They're going to run the ball, but that's kind of a high number for him. So he's at 54, and it's 92 and a half. How about this? Dak Prescott, over under 0.5 rushing yards. He's currently at 0, just for the record.
They're gonna need. I mean, the Neils would take it out. The thing I was gonna say is, how do we feel about a Dallas defensive touchdown? Geno's already thrown the one pick. If they're gonna be in a pure passing game. First off, what are they running? 80% pass plays in the first half. They showed that stat earlier. The run pass play, the calls. They're going to be in a pure passing game script in the entirety of the second half because they have to throw the ball. And he's already thrown the one. They ran it back a few yards. Dallas defensive touchdown is 12-1 right now. The tiniest sprinkle.
Not a bad number.
Yeah. Think about this, Tom. They've thrown the ball 28 times. And throw in the one Geno Smith scramble. So they've called 29 pass plays to only 3 running plays. And that's before they fell behind by 15 points. So it's like, what are they doing, Tom? They spent a high top 10 pick on a running back, and they've given him the ball rushing 2 times against one of the worst rushing defenses statistically. How do you explain that?
Geno has 28 passing attempts, guys, in the first half. 28.
If you played his over, I assume it was 35-ish. I don't know it off the top of my head, but he is cruising over that. He's going to throw it another 10 times in the third quarter alone.
It's 47 and a half now. Over under 47 and a half pass attempts for Geno Smith.
Got to play the over, right? Got it. Talk with Tom Vecchia. More coming up.
Rick Pitino asked the game about the worst defensive performance in New York City basketball history. He may have been right, but I will say this. Very, very impressed by the scoring acumen of both teams. And if they can shore up their defenses, both teams will make a run and march. And I mean a deep one.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going to be a top 6 team in the East. And they're going to be extremely dangerous. And it may be fun to watching that Central Division between Detroit and Cleveland. Kind of makes you think back to the old early 2000s with LeBron and obviously the Chauncey Billups-led Detroit team. But Detroit basketball's back.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe talking with SportsGrid host Tom Vecchio, as we always do Monday, Thursday night football games. We are at the half, and we got an interesting game. Let's put it that way. I think that's better than a 6-3 game. 24-9. Raiders do kick the field goal at the buzzer there, short field goal. They get 3 field goals. So line is 14
they should only put bad
FanDuel.
Teams on prime time. Scott. Only put bad teams on. Yeah, like the Patriots and Jets was an okay entertaining. At least there's something going on. You put 2 good teams on, you're sure to have a 3-0 game at the half, guys.
like last night with Philadelphia in Detroit.
Yeah, it's like clockwork.
Yeah. All right, so where we're going to go props-wise here, Tom, you had a chance to take a look at some of this stuff. You want to go, Gino? That's the general rule of thumb, right? You take the quarterback who's down 2 scores at halftime. You go over his passing props. He's at 167 now. They're giving you 301 on FanDuel. Even giving you about 90 more yards for Dak Prescott. So what stands out, if anything?
Right now, I would still be trusting Genty. I had him over 16.5. He's up to 17. He could very easily fall under, but 30.5 is his line right now. Tyler Lockett's at 28.5. I like both of those. I really do. Brock Bowers' number is 96.5. I'm never betting a number that high, but Lockett, Genty continuing to step up in the offense. Pick up first downs. Operate as much as you can simply on offense to get the ball out quickly. Do not let the offensive line collapse around Geno and pick up some yards.
How about Genty?
I'm going to play Geno over, guys. I already have Geno over. I played him over 319.5, down to 302.5 now, so I think it's a good number at 302.5. And I couldn't resist. I jumped in on the over 47.5 attempts. Like you said, Scott, if they threw 28 times in the first half, now they're losing by 18. They're going to start running now? You know what I'm saying? Right. So they should throw the football. And I agree. Look, Lockett, under duress, he's the guy they go to a lot. Geno knows him. We saw that in that last little scramble, Tom, in the last 2 minutes of offense there. Lockett started to catch some balls.
What I would be concerned about is that the Dallas offense just breaks off long drives. 9-play drives that are 8 minutes, and there just won't be as many possessions for the Raiders in the second half. Coming into this game, I was going to say, Williams, Lamb, Pickens, Ferguson, 3 of those 4 guys would have big games. And it's kind of looking that way that it's going to be Williams, Lamb, and Pickens. What do we have from Ferguson? He has the 1 catch for 5 yards on the touchdown. Like, he doesn't look on pace for his props. It doesn't look like he's going to go over his props just because they don't have to. Pickens is through his number. Lamb may struggle to get there because they're not in a passing game script. But Javonte Williams is the player that I would trust, and it would have to be Genty and Lockett on the other side.
I'm going to go, listen, it's one of these things where you don't have to outsmart yourself. I'm going to go right back on Pickens. He's got 101 yards, and they're giving you 122.5. They're only up 2 scores thanks to that late field goal. So, and Dallas's defense has been so bad, this season that I don't think they're going to take their foot completely off the pedal. So I still think they're going to be throwing the ball. And if I can't get 21 yards, 22 yards out of a guy that's got 101, then something's not wrong. I like that one, and I love the Lockett one. I agree with everything Gabe and you guys are saying. It's only 27.5. He's got 15 yards. They did throw to him in that last drive. Now, no completions, but penalties and this and that, and he's part of the offense. So I like that one as well.
Yeah, I was
got 28.5 here.
15 yards so far.
Yeah. I mean, any chance that Genty, it's only 30.5 rushing yards. Are they going to go into halftime and say, listen, guys, he's rushed the ball 2 times. We got to get him the ball. We just have to get, they've thrown it to him a little bit, but he's going to end up with 10 to 15 carries today, isn't he? I mean, and if that's the case, then he's going to get 31 yards, 21 more, 22 more.
I mean, if he had 4 quarters to have 15 carries, 13 carries is, even if they come back down to a 50-50. What I'm saying is, right, but I'm saying to get to 30 yards, he would need what? 10 carries, another 10 carries at a minimum?
Well, he's 10. So he needs 21
yards. He has 2 carries for 10 yards. And he also has a long of 11. So he has one run of 11 yards and another run of I think he needs 10 carries to get there. And that means you're going to have 20 other passing plays at a 33% run rate. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I literally don't know if they're going to run the ball that much.
Yeah. Probably not, but I'm hoping for one nice little 10, 15-yard run and change things up here a little bit. So, good luck with your bets, Tom. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.